Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us here at this special day of remembrance. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Lyle Holbrook, and I will be your MC for today's ceremony. Sunnybrook acknowledges our campuses are located on the treaty territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and ancestral and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Ojibwe, Chippewa, and Huron-Wendat nations. Now, please stand if able for our national anthem sung by Second Lieutenant Retired Scott Newlands.
True north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard.
Please be seated. It's my pleasure at this time to introduce the President and CEO of Sunnybrook Health Sciences Center, Dr. Andy Smith.
Lieutenant Colonel Holbrook, honored veterans, family members, special guests, staff, volunteers, and members of our community. My name is Andy Smith. I'm the President and CEO of Sunnybrook Health Sciences Center, and it is my pleasure to welcome you on behalf of our 12,000 staff, physicians, volunteers, students, and Board of Trustees. When Prime Minister Mackenzie King officially opened Sunnybrook as a military hospital 75 years ago, he said the following: "Sunnybrook Hospital symbolizes sacrifices made by those members of the armed forces whom this hospital aims to serve and seeks to honor." We've been honored to care for our country's war heroes for 75 years, and we remain committed to caring for those who serve in today's military in every capacity. When I'm privileged to visit our Veterans Center, I see clearly that our older veterans are living longer, healthier lives. In fact, the average age of our veterans is over 95 years. Seeing them thrive in our care is incredibly rewarding. In other parts of our hospital, younger veterans come to us with an array of complex conditions that we are uniquely able to treat as a health science center with great expertise in trauma. We are honored to play a role in their recovery. That said, it saddens me profoundly to see what is happening around us, ongoing in the Ukraine and most recently in Israel and Gaza. While these wars may seem far from us, the fact is our global community is small and deeply connected. As a healthcare team, our unwavering commitment lies in healing and recognizing the humanity in every individual that we care for, including each other. The magnitude and scope of the impact of these current situations are truly significant. Despite the differences that can create conflict, what unites us all is our shared humanity and our commitment to our healing mission as members of the Sunnybrook community. May we continue to learn through all events, no matter how difficult, and may we always remember the struggles each veteran endured for the sake of our freedom. Let us constantly learn from those who have served and, where we can, hear their stories. Through the book, The Last Salute, we can hear their stories. The last salute was launched in October, and we're so fortunate to hear directly from many of our remaining World War II veterans. Their unwavering courage and dedication to peace is a great inspiration. I thank each of them for sharing their memories with us. I also look forward to unveiling a rejuvenated cenotaph war memorial in the weeks ahead, thanks to generous donations from the Westmount Army and Navy Club and the Royal Canadian Legion Ontario Provincial Command. These gifts allowed us to improve upon this solemn place for reflection and respite for staff, veteran residents, patients, and families. On this day of remembrance, we pause to remember all of our veterans, living and fallen, as well as our current servicemen and women in the Canadian Armed Forces, for they are also in our hearts and in our prayers today, lest we forget.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. Now I'm delighted to introduce a video celebrating the 75th anniversary of Sunnybrook Hospital as a military hospital. Enjoy.
We pray it will continue in this very day's faith. We have looked aside, there can we Sunnybrook forever. Hope of the brave. Sunnybrook forever.
For 75 years, Sunnybrook has been caring for our Canadian heroes who served when their country and the world needed them. Veterans like Stan Dinney, who dodged German U-boats and sailed up the Suez Canal as an armorer with the Royal Canadian Air Force in 1941. Veterans like Morris Adams, who served in an administrative role at the end of the Second World War. After 75 years, it remains an honor to provide those who sacrificed for us with a home, with a community, and with expert and compassionate care.
November 11 holds a special meeting at Sunnybrook. 75 years ago, Sunnybrook opens its doors as a hospital dedicated to serving Canada's veterans. At the time of opening its doors back in 1946, the hospital was the largest center for veterans' health, providing patients with the finest modern medicine had to offer. Today, Sunnybrook has maintained this reputation as a source of exceptional care for veterans, while evolving to be an extensive health science center known for its teaching focus and research excellence. The secret behind this excellence is the bond that is shared between nurses, staff, and veterans and families. Sunnybrook staff give their all to their patients, and we say thank you. From the 100 Club to running extracurricular activities such as field trips to the Canadian War Museum, it comes from a place of respect and honor for those who served our country. The key is the close connection that practitioners and patients share. The history of Canada's first Veterans Hospital remains present in the wings: Ypres, Atlantic, and Lancaster. These names serve as a constant reminder of the peace and freedom we enjoy today because of the sacrifice our veterans have made. Thank you. Thank you to all of you who support the courageous men and women living at Sunnybrook Hospital. We appreciate you. Happy 75th anniversary. Lest we forget.
At this time, Dr. Jocelyn Charles, Medical Director here at Sunnybrook Veterans Center, will read today's lesson.
1 Corinthians 13. If I gave everything I have to the poor, and even sacrificed my body, I could boast about it. But if I didn't love others, I would have gained nothing. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. Love will last forever. 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love.
Thank you, Dr. Charles. In the interest of safety for all, you can see that the wreaths have been already laid in front of the podium. Sylvia Brackvogel, the Operations Director for the Veterans Center, and Dr. Dan Cass, Executive Vice President and Chief Medical Executive at Sunnybrook Health Sciences Center, will be announcing the memorial wreaths that honor our veterans and the sacrifices that they've made.
On behalf of the Government of Canada, Rob Oliphant, Member of Parliament for Don Valley West. Veterans Affairs Canada. On behalf of the people of Don Valley West, Rob Oliphant, Member of Parliament. On behalf of the people of Don Valley West, Stephanie Bauman, Member of Provincial Parliament. On behalf of the City of Toronto, City Councillor Jay Robinson. World War I veterans. World War II veterans. Korea veterans. Afghanistan War veterans. Canadian Armed Forces. Merchant Navy.
Women's Armed Forces, Royal Canadian Legion, Ontario Command, Army, Navy, and Air Force veterans in Canada, Royal Canadian Legion, Tri-District ABC, Royal Canadian Legion, Tri-District DEF, Canadian Forces College, 32 Canadian Forces Health Services Centre, 400 Tactical Helicopter Squadron, Sunnybrook Health Sciences Centre, Toronto Paramedic Services, wives and widows, children.
Now we have the pleasure of hearing veteran residents Stan Dinney and Henri Saint-Laurent recite the famous poem by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae in Flanders Fields.
In Flanders Fields by Lieutenant Colonel Dr. John McCrae. In Flanders Fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row and row, that mark our place, and in the sky that lark still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below.
Nous sommes les morts, il y a quelques jours encore. Nous vivions, sentions l'eau, avons vu le coucher du soleil. Nous aimions, étions aimés, et maintenant nous reposons dans les champs de Flandre.
Take up our quarrel with a foe, to you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours, so hold it high, if ye break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep, the poppies grow in Flanders Fields. Amen.
It's now my pleasure to introduce veteran resident Mary Bell, who will recite our selected reading for today, which is an excerpt from the poem by Georgia Aubert, titled A Desire to Serve Their Country.
A Desire to Serve Their Country by Georgina Aubert. A desire to serve their country, a passion blazing like a roaring fire inside of them, Beneath their stern faces and lie their soft eyes that have seen unimaginable things. The survivors, images of war are still dwelling in their minds, have learned a lifelong lesson of perseverance and for having faithful and thankful for all they have, for it might just be taken away in an instant. A flower to dedicate their bravery, red as cherries, red as rubies, red as blood, glowing in the fields, reminding us of how their actions brought peace. Actions that we can only repay by working our hardest to make this world glorious. And now, as the anthem plays, we stand tall, eyes wet, knowing that they made a sacrifice we can never repay, except in remembering them and creating peace everywhere we can. Their passion, their desire, their bravery, a flame in all of us.
In a moment, we'll be paying our compliments by the colors. Last Post will be played by Kevin Major. The Lament will be played by Master Corporal Paul Turner of the 400 Squadron Pipes and Drums, followed by a moment of silence, then Rouse, played by Kevin Major. I invite you to stand now if able to pay our respects to the fallen with these selections. Please be seated. Veteran resident and Sunnybrook Veterans Council member Mortimer Lightstone will now give the words of honor and the final blessing.
My name is Mort Lightstone. In January 2024, I will be the incoming president of the Veterans Council at Sunnybrook Veterans Center. Thank you very much for joining us today from wherever you are, watching and listening to this service broadcast. On this very important day, I'm honored to say a few words on behalf of the veterans living at Sunnybrook. There is tremendous history here at Sunnybrook, and I can't think of a better place to live. The wonderful care, enriched programming, and quality of life, and all provided by Sunnybrook and Veterans Affairs Canada. On behalf of the veterans at Sunnybrook, I'd like to give our heartfelt thanks for the exceptional care by every member of our staff, physicians, and clinical teams, and for their tireless service to ensuring our health, well-being, and safety is maintained. It is my hope that the youth will carry on forever the message and pledge of the phrase, "Least we forget." This phrase is a promise to Canada's war veterans, as well as a pledge to never forget the lessons learned in 2 world wars, in the Korean War, and in Afghanistan. I will conclude my remarks by reading a few verses from the poem "And I'll Cross My Heart," written by a fellow Sunnybrook veteran, the late James Matheson. But I make you this vow, as 2 veterans part, I make you this vow, and I'll cross my heart. I'll return in November. My time to remember, to kneel at your shrine, the privilege is mine. As trumpets on hill blow our time away, I promise you, veteran, I'll return on this day.
Thank you, Mortimer. Please stand if able, while once again we hear Second Lieutenant Retired Scott Newland sing "God Save the King."
God save our gracious King, long live our noble King. God save the King. Send him victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the King.
Please be seated. This concludes our Remembrance Day service for today. We encourage all of you to take a moment from time to time at other times throughout the year and remember the sacrifices that our veterans have made and the freedoms we enjoy because of them. Thank you very much for being with us for this very special day of remembrance today.